Candi from Bowie TV to give you my quick synopsis on the Washington Commanders' first preseason game against the New England Patriots. I think, head coach Dan Quinn said it best, right? The game was sloppy in all three phases. The first, out the gate, literally, Travion Henderson with a 100-yard kickoff return on a Washington Commanders special teams, where that unit is really the flagship and the anchor for the type of tone and attitude that this team is going to have when they get on the field from both the defense and offense perspective, right? They set the tone. And 100-yarder for a touchdown. As head coach Quinn called it, it was a gut punch. He also mentioned that some of it was confusing. And I can tell you, in the press box, those of us that were there, because it was not a lot of local media there for this game, we were shocked, right? Like, yes, we know that it's air quote just the preseason, but the Washington Commanders and this staff and team have set a standard, and it doesn't matter if it's for the starters or for the depth roles. The standard is the standard, and what everyone saw last night was grossly below the standard. You could feel the vibe from Coach Quinn. You could feel the vibe from the coaching staff, the team at large, that, it's not about wins and losses. We know that. And we know that for sure in the preseason, that it's not about wins and losses, but game day reps in the NFL are game day reps. And that did not look good at all. Some of the bright spots, Johnny Newton. This is a player that I'm like, okay, in his second year, we really want to see him take that jump. This was somebody that I know, at least across media and the fan base as well, was thinking was going to be Jonathan Allen's replacement, or that's why he was there. I don't necessarily think that that's why he's there, but at any rate, was still someone that could bring that level of production. So really wanted to see what he would contribute and do. But in terms of the second year, from last year's draft class that did play, Luke McCaffrey had to leave at the right at the top of the game due to an illness. So didn't get much, he didn't do anything really because he had to leave due to an illness. Ben Sinnott, quiet night for him. So didn't see and didn't really hear what I really wanted to see from them at all. Jordan McGee and Javonte Jean-Baptiste from last year's class are injured, so they didn't make the trip at all. Dominique Hampton is another second-year player from the draft class. He's drafted a safety. He's been working as a linebacker. Did not see much at all from him at all. He actually looked, kind of out of sorts at times, as did much of that linebacker unit. But you did see some flashes from rookie linebacker Kane Madrano. I think another piece of this that is so super important, the quarterback play, right? I was surprised by how off Sam Hartman was. Sam Hartman, this is his second year in the system. We know he spends a lot of time with Jaden Daniels. They are close friends. And I just was not saying that he was going to be Jaden Daniels 2.0 or anything of the sort. But when you're talking about an attempt to solidify your role and your spot as the third quarterback, he didn't get that last night. That did not go in his favor last night at all. Not that it did for Josh Johnson either, but you're going to see a bit more from him considering his veteran status in the years he's been in the league. But definitely not what you wanted to see from the quarterback performance for that third spot. The receivers, I think now it is abundantly clear whatever is going on with the front office and Terry McLaurin, it needs to be resolved. The experiment is now over. Let's be done with this. Get Terry signed. Currently, there's not a wide receiver one. They don't have one. Okay, I watched joint practice on Wednesday, game last night. Hey, figure this thing out, because that is going to be a huge loss and a huge drop in production. Something's got to get done there ASAP. Josh Connolly Jr., from an offensive line perspective, I think he's continuing to improve. I think he had a good night. He did well at practice on Wednesday. I think he did well last night. I liked what I saw from him. But again, this goes back to that right guard position. When Sam Cosmi is out, what's the production going to look like in that spot? There's good news so far about when he can come back, but I still think that right side of the line, we know what's up on the left side now. We know what's up. But thing of note, Brandon Coleman is dealing with the injury as well. But that right side, still a lot of question marks there. Running backs, we definitely saw some from Bill Krosky Merritt, so that was good. But I think that's still a player, while he's shown flashes and everybody loves it. Let's be very clear. Brian Robinson Jr. is your running back 1. Austin Eckler is your running back 2. There is no fear or threat of either one of them losing their spot to anyone else in that running back room currently. So that's of current day, right? So I've kind of gone through all of the offense from the defense, going back to the linebackers. Did not see much there. Was not pleased at all from that perspective. From a safety perspective, I was really shocked to see Tyler Owens not make an impact at all. He also looked out of sorts. He left a little bit to deal with an injury. He did walk off the field. Also want to mention that depth cornerback Bobby Price does have a concussion, and he is now in the protocol. You all may have seen he hit his head kind of hard on the ground last night during a pass breakup situation that he did last night. So he made an impact, but he's unfortunately now suffering a concussion from that play. You see all the energy in Jeremy Reeves. Way to go, Revo. I think that unsportsmanlike penalty was bogus, but it is what it is. But that's something to be mindful about, right? That is certainly something to be mindful about. I'm trying to think through, but Revo's bringing the energy. Revo's bringing the exact energy that people want to see and what the team wants to see. So that's good. That's great. But I guess with, penalty calls and everything, you just never know. And, even with the energy, sometimes it's just not worth those penalties. Speaking of penalties, the Commanders, I think I stopped counting at 12. I think they ended up with 13. Maybe coach said they had 15. Either way, this goes back to the Commanders' standard. This goes back to whether it's the starters or the depth. It is unacceptable. So let's see what happens for this team to improve, because those penalties, I know that it's something that grinds Dan Quinn's gears, and it's just not good. So let's see what happens there. I'm trying to think. The kicking game. Not good. Not good. And, some days I was like, it's all right. From a distance, not looking so hot. So let's see what happens there. Because, the kicking situation isn't what it was last year this time. But is it solidified, in my opinion? No, it is not. So, saw Matt Gay miss a couple of field goals at Wednesday's joint practice at the end of practice. Again, when he has to deal with the distance, not good. And we saw him miss a 49-yarder last night. I think Tress Way got more work in last night with punting than he did probably the whole first half of the season, if not the whole season. So, not good. Again, not panicking. Let me be clear on that. Not panicking. But let's be for real here. That wasn't Commander standard football right there. And you still want to see that standard upheld amongst the depth, because we all know how much depth matters on every NFL roster. So we can't just brush it off like the starters didn't play. So that's why they look like that. Not good enough. Because, yeah, the Patriots starters didn't all play, all the whole game, is what I mean. Because, of course, they played at the beginning. But, they had a special team score and an offensive score rather quickly. So, I think that's kind of it in terms of what stood out. Quick synopsis. As you can see, I could talk a long time about this topic because this is what I do. So, hope this is helpful. And thank you for asking for my quick synopsis.